Welcome to the deep dive. We've sifted through some incredibly vivid source material excerpts from historical fiction that really throw you into 18th century North Carolina.
Absolutely. It's dense stuff. Life on the edge, really.
Yeah, and our goal today is to pull out the key insights. We're talking high stakes politics, frontier medicine, which is something else, and some pretty heavy family secrets.
It's about understanding the immediate dangers,
Hmm.
you know, how culture played into conflict, what was actually achievable medically back then.
And the political situation is just bowling over, isn't it? Governor Tryon is making moves.
No more subtlety. It kicks off with this gathering.
Which sounds harmless enough, but it's really a cover for a massive militia muster.
Exactly. And Lieutenant Hayes is sent to deliver the governor's proclamation. It's all very official.
But the setup tells the real story.
Right. The details are fascinating. Hayes pitches his tent, but positions it deliberately with the back facing a thicket of pine trees.
So anyone could slip through the woods unseen.
Precisely. It's an open invitation for secret intelligence, for people to maybe snitch on their neighbors or even confess something.
It signals that this whole gathering isn't just about showing force. It's about gathering intel, dividing loyalties. Very calculated.
Very. And the core of that division, it's the regulator movement, which is gaining serious steam.
We see Herman Husband the Quaker. He's right in the middle of it, isn't he? Distributing pamphlets.
Yeah, that's organized resistance, counter-propaganda against the crown, essentially. And the governor knows it.
So his response is swift and harsh. Colonel James Fraser gets the order.
Gather the militia. Every able-bodied man, aged 16 to 60, that's basically everyone who can hold a musket.
And they have a deadline. Join General Waddell near Salisbury by December 15th.
This isn't peacekeeping. Let's be clear. This is about crushing the dissent, building an army.
But why were people willing to join the Regulators? To risk everything. You have to look at the day-to-day reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Forget the high politics for a second. Look at someone like Abel McLennan. The sources give us his story. He owes a tax. 6 shillings.
Doesn't sound like a fortune, does it? 6 shillings.
No, but the system makes it impossible. McLennan has valued 10 bushels of corn, which is worth more than the tax. But he can't pay with corn.
Needs hard coin, actual currency.
Which is scarce. And think about this. Why make it so hard to pay? Does the crown really benefit from making compliance almost physically impossible?
It suggests the local officials maybe had other motives? Extortion?
Could be. Look, McLennan has to travel 40 miles.
Yeah.
40 miles just to get to Salem, trade his corn for cash, and then travel back 40 miles to pay that 6-shilling tax.
That journey alone, the effort, the time lost, it's designed to grind people down.
Exactly. It fuels the anger. It makes the regulator cause seem like the only option for some.
So you have this economic pressure cooker, and then Jamie Fraser gets the order to raise the militia against these people.
Right. But he doesn't just rely on the governor's piece of paper. He knows his people. He uses something much older, much deeper.
The Fiery Cross.
The Fiery Cross, the Crentera, is an ancient Scottish custom, a call to arms for the clan. Deeply powerful.
And the ritual itself, Dougal Mackenzie's method is described lighting the cross, then dousing the burning end in ship's blood.
Intense and incredibly effective. The result, 300 men, armed, ready, gathered in just 4 days.
Wow. 4 days.
It shows you it wasn't just Tryon's orders making things happen. It was that deep cultural obligation, that ancient call that mobilized people on the ridge.
Okay, so the militia is mustering, tensions are sky high, but Roger Mackenzie, he gets pulled aside, right?
Yeah.
Given a different task.
Yeah, he's sent on a mission, but it's not a military one. He needs to find Herman Husband before the battle, before Alamus.
What's the thinking there? Is it an attempt to avert disaster?
It feels like it. Maybe a bit of desperation from Jamie, or hope. The goal isn't arrest. It seems to be negotiation.
Try and convince husband to stand down. Prevent the bloodshed they all see coming.
Exactly. A sort of last-ditch diplomatic effort. Trying words before bullets.
So politics, extortion, impending battle, ancient oaths. It's a powder keg. But the struggle wasn't just political. Survival itself was brutal. Let's shift to the medical side of things, Claire's work.
Yeah, this is where you see this incredible juxtaposition. Amidst all this looming violence and primitive conditions, there's actual scientific progress happening, specifically penicillin.
Right. The sources detail how she cultivates it, extracting that clear fluid.
Stuff the mold secretes to fight off bacteria from these spongy blue sort of velvet mats of mold.
It's quite the process. And Jamie, well, he has his own way of describing it.
He certainly does. Cuts right through the science, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Calls the penicillin solution, the broth, the mold has pissed in.
Crude, maybe, but memorable.
And effective. Taken orally, it could fight infections in a way nothing else could back then.
Yeah.
A lifesaver.
A genuine breakthrough. But then you contrast that with the reality of surgery at the time.
Oh, absolutely. The sources describe a tonsillectomy on a 14-year-old boy, Josiah.
And the crucial detail, he was conscious.
Conscious. Can you imagine? It required incredible speed from Claire. And strength.
The text mentions her preparations, a heavy canvas apron, an amulet for, well, maybe courage as much as protection, and using a cautery iron.
Yeah, small hot iron to seal the blood vessels instantly. Agonizing. For Josiah, certainly, but the psychological toll on Claire must have been immense, too. It really underscores the sheer brutality of 18th century medicine.
Survival meant using everything available, not just surgery, but plants, too. Herbalism.
Definitely. The sources mention specific women's herbs, things like tansy and rue.
Used for what? Major illnesses?
Not really major cures, more for managing daily life. Easing menstrual discomfort, calming nerves, basic comfort measures in a hard life.
And this focus on plants connects to something really personal for Brianna. Contraception.
Right. Claire had been given seeds by Niawen, the Tuscaroran healer. Seeds specifically for contraception. Niawen said they protect a woman from being, quote, overwhelmed.
Protect her control over her own body.
And Roger understands how important this is to Brianna. He's the one who goes out to gather these plants, these weeds, for her.
But there's an urgency behind it, isn't there? A deeper reason.
There is. It's revealed that Brianna carries this constant, terrible fear. The fear that she might have contracted a venereal disease from Stephen Bonnet during her assault.
Whoa, wow.
So the need for contraception isn't just about family planning in general. It's driven by this specific underlying terror stemming from that trauma.
That hidden fear. It seems like secrets and hidden threats are everywhere.
Which brings us to the family dynamics, especially around Roger and Brianna's marriage.
Yes, Roger faces a lot of suspicion, particularly from Jamie's aunt, Jocasta Cameron.
She doesn't hold back, does she?
Not at all. She basically accuses him, quite openly, of being a fortune hunter, marrying Brianna purely for the potential inheritance. And Fraser's Ridge is a huge inheritance, 10,000 acres.
A massive estate.
Mm.
But Jocasta sees Roger as penniless, bringing nothing to the table. It's incredibly insulting.
And that land itself, Fraser's Ridge, it's built on a dangerous secret.
A politically explosive one. Jamie Fraser is Catholic.
But the royal land grants in the Carolinas.
Legally, they were only supposed to go to Protestants. It was the law.
And Governor Tryon knows Jamie is Catholic.
He knows. That one small but important fact, as the source puts it, Jamie's entire life, his land, his home, his family's security, rests on the governor not using that information against him.
Talk about living on a knife edge.
Completely. And you see Roger struggling with this, his lack of, material contribution. He wants to give Brianna a wedding gift that's truly his, not Frank Randall's ring.
Something personal.
Yeah. But what does he end up buying? Not the velvet Brianna might have wanted. He buys an iron bull's ring, a nose ring for Jemmy, their son. It kind of shows his priorities, maybe. Protection, practicality over finery.
Interesting choice. Now, speaking of wealth and secrets, Jocasta doesn't just insult Roger. She reveals something massive about gold.
Ah, yes. The French gold. This is a huge reveal connecting them directly back to the Jacobite Rising.
30,000 pounds sterling, sent by the French king to fund the rebellion.
And Jocasta confesses her late husband, Hector Cameron, was one of the men entrusted with it. He managed to hide his share, 2 whole chests of gold.
Where?
Under the floorboards, in his bedroom. And she reveals another conspirator involved in the original plot.
Dougal Mackenzie, Jamie's uncle.
The very same. So this isn't just buried treasure. It's blood money, essentially, tied to treason, rebellion, and family history all tangled together. Still dangerous, even years later.
That legacy is a constant undercurrent. But some secrets are darker, more immediate. The situation at the Beardsley farm. That's just pure horror.
It really is. Jamie walks into an appalling situation. Hiram Beardsley's abusive, clearly. He's had a severe stroke. He's dying slowly, horribly.
With gangrene setting in, the source mentions the smell.
Yes, the distinct stink on his toes. He's trapped, suffering. And Jamie is faced with this impossible ethical choice.
He asks Beardsley if he wants it to end, right? If he wants to die.
Yes. And Beardsley, unable to speak, communicates his assent with a single eye blink. Just one clear blink.
And Jamie helps him.
He assists him in dying, Mercy killing, essentially.
Yeah.
The weight of that act is just enormous.
But the horror doesn't stop there.
No. Beardsley's wife, Fanny, then confesses. Hiram had other wives before her. 4 of them.
And they're buried on the property.
Buried. She points out where the last one, Mary Ann, is buried. Under a mountain ash tree. They'd mistaken it for a rowan tree, which is meant to be protective. Grim irony. And then almost like a final brutal clearing. The shed where they laid out Hiram Beardsley's body catches fire. The body is destroyed.
So all evidence of his life, his potential crimes, gone. Wiped out by chaos.
It's this disturbing mix of justice and destruction almost, leaving no trace.
This whole exploration, it's just full of these stark contrasts, isn't it? You've got penicillin flourishing next to conscious surgery.
The governor demanding militia levies versus the ancient power of the fiery cross calling the Klan.
And these deeply buried family secrets, like the Jacobite gold, bubbling up and influencing the present political dangers.
Which really brings us back to that central theme of loyalty and duty, especially when things are falling apart. Roger learns about a specific Scottish oath, doesn't he?
Yes, sagt. A word of honor.
And the definition is just staggering. It means a promise that must be kept unfailingly.
At no matter what cost, though he should burn to death in the doing. That's the quote. It's absolute. Personal integrity above survival itself.
So you have Colonel James Fraser. He's bound by oaths like that, by his history, by his duty to his clan and family.
But he's also under direct orders from Governor Tryon, raising a militia to fight the Regulators who are gathering near Salisbury. He's caught between tradition and modern political command.
Exactly. The Battle of Alamance is coming. The lines are drawn.
So the question we want to leave you with is this. When push comes to shove on that battlefield, what wins? How far will an ancient, deeply personal oath like Irbsact dictate Colonel Fraser's actions?
Especially when faced with the demands of military duty and political necessity? Will that personal honor hold, or will the pressures of the conflict force his hand in a different direction?